What's up, everybody? It's Tre Tipton, and we're here back on the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. I'm with my co-host,
Vinnie.
As you can see, he has his safari hat on today. Tell him a little bit why you have your safari hat on today and your new voice.
Things are different now.
So why are they so different now?
When you've seen the things I've seen, and you've been to places I've been.
Tell him where you went, Vinny.
God's country.
Tell me a little bit more. Explain to me a little bit.
You ever been to the pit of hell?
I have not.
I journeyed there. I've seen it.
What does it look like?
It looks like. You ever been in a Ford truck
Yeah.
going 90 down the highway,
Yeah.
and you just see nothing ahead but this wide open highway and freedom, and you feel like a bald eagle? That's what it feels like. And then if you know what that feels like, you know what it looks like.
So the pit of hell.
Mm-hmm.
I want a trophy this weekend.
Hey, you want a trophy?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah, let me see the trophy. Hey, what's the trophy for?
Do you want me to just show the... Here, you want to read it?
Yeah. All shook up in Vegas. Love forever in our hearts. Appreciate you always.
2018.
2018. Now, here's my thing.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know, dude. Honestly, okay. This hat's bringing me back to, like, a traumatic experience. So for everybody tuning in, I hiked the Grand Canyon this weekend. And I'm not a hiker.
At all. Didn't even train.
Bro, I had zero training. And it was honestly, like, the craziest experience of my life.
Let's talk about it.
So, you know, we work here at the Pavement Group. We do this podcast now out of Studio One. And when I first met you and Brian, we did the art show together, all this stuff. One of the first meetings that I went to with Brian after the art show was over to Aurelius and talking to Caleb and Sarah and the Kolbs and the foundation that they started over there that helps veterans, first responders, and, you know, provides hope for them, and it's incredible work that they're doing. They pitched this idea that, you know, they do this venture to the Grand Canyon twice a year. They try to raise all this money for what they do. And, you know, I'm fresh off of Brian pretty much, you know, helping create Exhibit 1 and pouring into me. And so I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it.
Not me.
Bro, I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
I can imagine. Tell me something about it. I want to know about the Vinny
And we haven't even
experience.
talked since. Like, just to let you guys know, I saved, so Tre has not, like, this is not just for you guys. Like, I have not talked to Tre since I got back.
100%. This is new for me.
And, bro, it was wild. I did the whole thing. I was debating on just dropping in from the South Rim. So I know most of our audience is probably football. That's pretty much most of them. You're just football fans or played football, or you're an athlete or whatever. So this episode might be a little bit different than our normal topics, but I promise you that, like, the realizations and the things that I learned going through that you can translate them into business, into athletics, into whatever. Because, like, I was, like, all jokes aside, bro, like, I felt like I'm not getting out of this canyon. Like, It was rough.
Tell me when it got rough. I want to know like what part where you were like, oh shit, like I'm stuck.
The first half mile when I started going down. And I literally said to Eli, who was in front of me, because we all started together.
Right.
And I got like about a half mile. And dude, when they say you enter the trail, your first step onto the trail is a step down. Like it's just immediate steps. And you go down 6,000 feet to the bottom.
Yeah, that ain't it. That ain't gonna work.
6,000 feet. So, like, my shins are shot right now from all the downhill. But, yeah, about a half mile in, I said to Eli, I said, bro, are your quads burning yet? And he was like, eh. And I was like, oh, shit. Then I'm in trouble because mine are on fire, dude.
He said, we just started.
I was hurting. And, like, so we went down. And it was pitch black when we started. So, like, that was, like, a mental thing, too, because you don't even know really, like, I've never been to the canyon. I don't know what it looks like. So I don't really know, like, you're just walking down dark steps. That's all you see. You see right in front of you. You can't, like, if you look at the edge, you look over the edge, or, like, what you think is the edge, you don't realize, like, how far it is because it's pitch black. Like, it's a certified, like, black sky zone. Like, or I think that's what it's called. But, like, there's no light. So, when the sun started to come up, that was when I realized, oh, this is a cliff. Like, this is a real cliff, and there's no guardrails.
And there's nothing to protect you from
dying.
And
I'm just out here with a flashlight that I got on Amazon for $4 because I went with the cheapest option. Like, at that moment, I thought, I'm in trouble. Like,
so you started out in trouble.
Yeah.
So now when the sun starts to come up.
I don't know. Like maybe I should just share. I don't know if maybe I should just share photos up behind us the entire episode.
I think
and like
should.
Talk about these. Paige sent me this after the hike. She said she looked over. I don't know if I can share this. Like I don't know if I can get it up here. Hold on. How do you screen mirror? Right here. Screen mirroring. Is it the Sony?
It's the TV studio.
All right. Ready? What's our code? 1575. All right, we're keeping all this in because you guys, we give you the raw, uncut shit on this podcast. Okay? Are we mirroring up here yet?
We aren't.
What's going on?
I think you actually got to go to the picture again.
It says I'm mirroring. There we go.
There we go.
That was me on the way to the canyon.
Hold on. Let me get my space.
Boy's going through it.
Your whole life is in front of you right now.
Bro, it's 2 a.m. in this moment. We left at 2 a.m. because we had an hour-long bus ride after being on a bus for 6 hours to the canyon the day before.
I can't lie to you. This is why, like, certain shit that, like, people do, I just can't get with. Like, I'm not doing this, especially at 2 a.m., and then I'm going to go out here and suffer for the rest of the day.
Well, we met at the bus at 3 a.m. We pulled out at 3:30. So this is probably around 4 a.m. We got there around 4:45, 4:30, 4:45, stretched, and then just went in. I mean, I was looking at life just like, what decisions did I make to get here? You know,
like, why did I do this?
How do I get out of this? But truly, like, the only thing that, like, this is truly the only thing when I was sitting here that, like, got me through this was, you know, not to be, I actually said, like, to everyone else, not to be cheesy, but this is what I was thinking about, was, like, the reason we're there to begin with is to help veterans, first responders, and there's literal times where these guys, they have such like a traumatic experience or something, like they're being bussed into war, or they're being like flown into war, and they're about to be dropped off and like have to hike a mountain to not get shot at.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm gonna be hungry, you know, like my feet are gonna hurt.
And they're out there getting shot at while trying to get through this Grand Canyon.
So that's what got me through it. Is like I'm like, yo, like pretty much just don't be a bitch. Well,
yeah, I mean, it's that simple.
Just walk. Just
it's unfortunate.
Walk and figure it out.
See, in my head, I was thinking like, yeah, like they went through that situation, but also like I thought to myself when they were like, yeah, you should go. I was like, So I should decide to go and make myself think that I have to survive this.
Mm-hmm.
Or...
Bro, there's no thinking that. That's the reality.
And that's why,
like a guy died there the week before. I walked past the mile. I walked through where he died.
See, that just doesn't seem like my
and
type
I knew
of thing.
Where
like,
he died. Like, and I'll be honest, like, there were some people that I was not sure if they were making it out of there that I saw. And not proud about this one, but there was a lady, and she was at the very bottom. And she was like staggering.
Like about to fall over.
So I don't know if you can reshare or whatever, but I'm done. She is, she's like staggering, right? Kind of just.
Not looking good.
Like she looks like she's about to fall over the cliff. So I walk over, put my hand on her. And I was like, hey, I like pull her back towards the rock. Like there's like rock, path, cliff. And she's like staggering towards the cliff. So I pull her back to the rock, and I'm like, hey, are you good? Because you don't look too good. Like, I don't know who this lady is. And she's like, I'm out of water. I'm out of, I don't have anything. And I'm like, bro, you're like 3 miles from the next water thing, and you look like you're going to pass out. And this is like the heat of the day. Like, we're in the canyon at this point. It's 120 degrees.
She's not going to make it if you don't do something.
Yeah. And so I had in my bag like a bunch of liquid IVs and like electrolyte packets and salt tabs, which I didn't even know what salt tabs were.
But they came in a clutch.
And so I gave her 2 salt tabs. I gave her a liquid IV, and I told her, I was like, you need to drink this and like take the salt tab and just sit here for like 30 minutes.
Right.
Don't move. And she's like, all right. She takes whatever. So I get to like the next stop, and I'm chilling there. Bro, I chilled so hard at the bottom of this canyon because I did not want to start walking up. That's why I was there so late, was because I was just like so unmotivated to start walking back up.
This thing.
And yeah, I see her walking in, so she made it to the thing. And the funny part is she beat me out of the canyon.
Hold on, bro.
She was near
So
death.
the person that was nearly deceased beat you out of the canyon.
Yeah.
Well, think of it this way. You did a good deed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You saved her life to help her go forward. That means you're a great coach.
Right.
Because you allowed her to be better than you.
Right. You're welcome.
She could have died. Like, being serious, though. Like,
bro, she was struggling. And I don't know how she... Okay, so she passed me another time because there were stops. Like, on the way out, every mile and a half, there's a stop.
mm-hmm.
And I would stop every mile and a half. Bro, she somehow powered through the last 4.5 miles, which are straight uphill. You gain 4,500 feet in 5 miles. It takes 15 miles to get down 6,000, and then it's like maybe like 8 miles where it's just like
how narrow are the
zigzag.
paths?
I mean, they're pretty narrow. Like,
was there a point in time, because you might not be scared of heights. I'm terrified of heights. Was there a point in time when you looked over and you were like, oh shit?
Yeah. Bro, there was this one time by the Colorado River where, like, I mean, the path ends here. The wall, like the like rock is here. The path is maybe, you can just safely pass somebody. And when I say straight down, dude, I mean, like, I could look like this and see probably 1,000 feet down to the river.
That ain't gonna work.
Like,
I'm not
the
going.
river's just currently just carving away at the path that you're walking on, and it's just like, at some point this path is gonna erode.
Nah. And just see, there's just certain things I just don't do, and I'm not gonna say that it's a racial thing. I just personally, Tre Tipton just doesn't do.
Italians do not belong in the Grand Canyon.
Listen, I'm telling you this right now. I'm just going to be straight honest. As soon as I would have seen how deep that cliff was, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to stay on this bus. I appreciate y'all.
I didn't see many of you there.
You probably will never. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, unless there is a certified
that looked like you there.
Hey, unless there's a certified reason for me to be on a cliff that is this wide. Like, I ain't got no choice. You will never see me or those who look like me at the Grand Canyon. I just can't see it. I can't. I mean, if it happens, it happens. it happens. You know what I mean? But me personally, I'm going to have to take the L and stay home. You know what I mean? I'm proud of you, though. I'm very proud of you. Listen, there's not too many people I know who would do that. One, especially with no training. Like, none at all. And then once I found out that somebody died, right there would have just killed everything. Like, that would have been, it'd have been over from the jump. You know what I mean? But I give you credit. This is why you're a Vinnie VC2. You know what I mean? Like, you are the guy because you went out there and did the thing.
Yeah.
And survived. I really was scared. I told my girl, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, babe, like, I'm terrified that we'll be going to a funeral on Monday.
So I didn't tell Lindy, my wife, I didn't tell her the like actual path we were taking because I knew she'd be worried the whole time. And this was the text. So, you know, as we're leaving, I get service. And so, what do you like? So we have a mic for Swing. You guys, Swing, say what up.
What's up, fellas?
Swing's our producer. He's been behind the camera. If you've seen us on social media, whatever, follow.
And I think it makes it funnier. It does make it funnier with the producer.
No doubt.
Camera.
We're going to get a camera for him soon. As soon as Daddy Brian gives us his card. Let's see. So I texted Lindy.
Hold on. We ain't just going to act like you ain't just say that.
We can't just roll by that.
Like, we ain't just going to roll by.
Let's just call a spade a spade. All right.
What?
Bro, he pays for everything. What do you mean?
You called him daddy, bro.
Yeah, Daddy B. Sugar Daddy B.
What?
Listen, bro.
Continue your story, Vinny.
I'm trying to find it. Hold on. So I texted Lindy, and I was like, made it out, blah, blah, blah. And I told her, I was like, we took like this really difficult path. And she says, because I told her there was this part called there was a part of the path called the Devil's Corkscrew.
This does not sound attractive
And
to
I
me.
found out about the Devil's Corkscrew on the way to the Grand Canyon. And I said, oh shit. Bro, it's awful. So Lindy sends me this text. This is like after this is at what time is this? 9:19. I'm out of the canyon. And so I tell her, you know, it was the most trying. You have no service.
The most hardest thing you've ever done.
I've ever done in my entire life. And she said, well, this is what Google shows as the Devil's Corkscrew. And she shows it to me. Right? Bro, you can't tell, but those are like people. And like this thing is straight up. I don't know if I should.
No. Brian
All right,
showed
I'm gonna
me.
mirror this too.
Brian showed me. That looks ridiculous.
I want to show everybody else. Sorry,
Wow.
Swing. We're just gonna have to keep going back and forth today.
That is extreme torture, Vinny.
So, all right. Give us a second here to pull this up.
Why would you do that to yourself?
What, dude? There's no backing out of this. Like,
No, 100%. I just don't understand why you continued
why is this thing not letting me?
to allow yourself to even go the whole way through it. Because I'd have went the whole way through it if it made sense.
Stop mirroring. So I just want everybody to see this this image. If it doesn't come up, we'll just clip this out and I'll put it up over the final edit. Let's try again.
The Devil's Corkscrew.
There we go. All right, so this is the picture that Lindy sends me right here. She says, I just Googled the Devil's Corkscrew, and this came up.
You started down here, huh?
Bro, what you don't realize is when you get to here, you've already climbed 3,000 feet, basically.
Yeah, no.
Not really. Probably like 1,000. You've been scaling a mountain, and then you get to here. And it's like, bro, you're just gassed. You're 18 miles in, and then you get to here. And it's like, it's, okay. And then also, so like you see how it zigs like that? What they also didn't tell me was, this is called the Devil's Corkscrew because usually you get to this point in the path and it's still sun, and it's just beating on you. So we got to the top of it, and me and Marcus did this together. And we had a blast, first of all. We were just like, I had my radio, and it was just blasting me. Like, we were definitely the first people just, like, bumping Future through the Grand Canyon, like, just on full blast.
Bitch, don't get too comfortable.
Just up
You
there,
got that
like-
playing loud as shit.
Yeah.
Because you never felt comfortable in that whole scenario.
No, I made a reel with that one Roddy Ricch song where it's like, started at the bottom, down below.
Down below.
And, but yeah, so what they don't tell you is when you get to the top of here, me and Marcus were like, dude, we did it. It wasn't even shit. And then we get up here. There's 3 miles. So we ran out of water up here. And we didn't realize there's 3 miles from there to the next water spot. And so we just like gassed ourselves getting up this thing. And there was like probably an hour and a half trip to get there. So we drank our water basically about halfway up there, get up there. And I'm thinking the next stop is called like Indian Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking there's water there. Like we just got to get up.
Just sounds nice.
Bro, that
Nothing.
thing was 2.5 more miles away and we're gassed. So, we paced ourselves and somehow like got through it. But that was probably that was what started the like, oh shit. Because by then you're not replenishing yourself. So your body's just on E and you're working from behind. So that was when I got to the 3 mile marker, and like 3 miles out, and you're like, oh, I just walked, 22. What's another 3, bro? When I tell you those 3 miles were straight up in the air, and I had nothing left. Like
that boy was crawling.
Yeah, I had a few moments, but the reason I bring this up is because Lindy sends me that and says, "This is what the Google shows as Devil's Corkscrew. Are you on the Bright Angel Trail? Oh, never mind. This says it's the most dangerous hike. Maybe I'm wrong." And I said, "Nope.
You're right."
And I literally sent her like the same, like she sent me that picture and I sent her this video that I took. Bro, that's the trail.
I'm not even going to lie. Just that
and look,
video.
so you can see like you go all the way up, around, and then around and up to here. There's Marcus.
And then there's Cliff.
Bro, it's straight cliff. Like I could just show you pictures for like days of just
Close to death experiences.
Yeah. Look, I had the AA hat. Shout out.
Yeah.
Made the whole trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was legit, like straight down at some point. Oh, this was a cool little caterpillar I found.
I was about to say, what the fuck is that?
I took that video for Veda.
I heard you guys seen a rattlesnake.
Yeah, I didn't see the rattlesnake. This was at the very bottom. Phantom Ranch, made it. Got a really nice lemonade there. Dude, I mean, this shit's the real deal. Like, these people are like actual cowboys.
That's dope. Can't lie.
Here's Marcus. Bro, Marcus was a trooper too.
He had to carry a camera.
I was just about to say, shout out to Marcus carrying a camera for that.
The whole thing, bro. I'd have been out
120
there
degrees.
struggling.
Yeah, it was nuts. He did with one walking pole and held a camera like for 95% of the
We got to get Marcus on this podcast just out of the aesthetic part of things, like out of all due respect as a creative, Marcus is the most talented, disciplined creative I've ever met in my entire life. Because like for somebody that not only to be going through the Devil's Corkscrew with one walking stick while everybody else got 2, you're holding a camera hoping that it doesn't get overheated. Trying to take pictures, trying to take video.
No, he didn't train either.
And didn't train. Mind you, Marcus is not a big guy.
No.
Marcus is probably 110 pounds, 130 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, he cut his hair. He's like 120 now.
So it's like...
It's like 10 pounds of hair.
The kid is just truly a warrior, man. Can we get a round of applause for Marcus, man?
Marcus, you're the real
deal, Holyfield Marcus.
Man. Like, I learned so much about him on that trip. Like,
For real?
So, like, I started the trip, like I said, with the group. We went down. After the first stop, they had, like, a pace guide, a middle guide, and a sweep guide.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you could kind of, what's up, dude? Come on in. We were, we were kind of in the middle group.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Hess just entered the room.
What's up, dude? We were just talking about the
That's so hard.
those are sweet.
They're talking about the Grand Canyon.
We're just talking about the trip.
If you want to go ahead and jump on that mic over there and with Swing.
That thing's live. You don't have a camera on you, but maybe this will be a I don't even know. Where were we?
We were talking about you and Marcus getting to know each other
Yeah.
on the Grand Canyon when you both were trying not to die, considering that neither one of you trained. So continue on your story.
Yeah, so started all in one group, right? Brian was in the group, and we kind of fell back from the lead group just like off the jump, just because I feel like everyone kind of knew, like where you were going to pace to be.
Right.
And there was a group that they moved, dude. They were in and out in 12 hours.
Wow.
Like, they were done by like 5 p.m., 6 p.m., somewhere in there.
Who was in that group? Let me guess. I'm going to take a guess here.
Okay.
Paige. David. Who else went? Paige, David.
There were 7 of them.
From
In the
our
front group,
from TCS.
right?
From TCS?
From TPG.
TPG.
Yeah.
Eli.
Joyce.
Joyce.
Eli. Tyler.
Yep. Is that everyone?
Vassetti.
Oh,
And Nassetti. Okay.
There were 6 of them. Yeah. They stayed with the lead guide the entire time. And they moved, dude, because when we stopped and we went kind of behind them, there was one point where I just got this mad energy boost at the bottom of the canyon. It felt like it was spiritual, dude. Being down there was crazy. Like,
right.
All jokes aside, I can't explain what it feels like to be in the middle of the Grand Canyon by yourself. Like, and we were walking for a while together after the first stop, and I just, like, I'm the kind of person where I like to experience things kind of like by myself. And I found myself when I was walking with other people, like facilitating conversation was even burning energy. And so I did better sometimes when I was by myself. And I got to a point where I went ahead of the middle group a little bit, and I wanted to see if I could catch the lead group there was an 8-mile stretch. Bro, I jogged like a mile and a half.
See, I don't even know why you thought that was a smart idea.
I almost caught them. I swear, they had to have just left when I got to the next stop.
But here's the thing, though. Even if you would have caught them, right? Let's put this in perspective based on your story. You catch them, right? You get to that 3 mile where you died.
Yeah.
Right?
I wasn't going with them.
You was just
I
gonna
was
catch
just
them.
going to catch them before they left the next stop.
Well, let's just say this: jogging at 122 degrees,
Just
with
not.
Backpack on,
I was
long sleeves. It's not a great idea.
I was having a good time though. Like, I felt no pain
Until
I started going uphill. Yeah. But it was, dude. Yeah, I don't know.
I would also argue that the pain actually like went away.
I'm gonna say you numbed up eventually.
Yeah, you like.
True.
But it's funny, man, how many people finished the hike and then said like, "Damn, dude, I got blisters on my feet." Like nobody
didn't even know.
Didn't even feel them.
Yeah.
Like.
So you
all.
just numb up.
Yeah, it was. The last 3 miles I would say was more of a exhaustive like cardio challenge than it was like your legs. You're just dragging them along, man.
Yeah.
But the cardio piece of it, it's like, man, you're just getting. I mean, it's hard to describe, right? When you're standing, so it started to get dark at some point when we were climbing up the side of this mountain, and so you really get perspective because it's 4,500 feet from the bottom, I think, to the top, right?
Yeah.
And so literally, it's damn near a mile going straight up, and when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, dude, all you see when it starts to get dark, you see everybody's headlamps that are up above you.
Mm-hmm.
And it legit, dude, this looks like a bunch of mountain goats like rolling up the side of this mountain, man. You can't see anything. Like all you see is just lamps, and you're just like, on one hand, you're like, okay, we're almost out of here. And the other hand, you're like, damn, those people are
High
way up
as
there,
hell.
man. Like, holy smokes, I can't even imagine.
And you can't even stop neither. Like if you stop, it's over with.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, there just isn't. That's what I admire about this trip the most. What I walked away with the most. Like I love the idea of putting people in situations where they cannot quit. There's no way out.
Yeah.
There's no way out. Straight up, unless you have a broken leg or a serious medical event, nobody's coming to get you, man.
Yeah.
You got to you got down there, you're gonna get back out. It doesn't matter if it takes days. I heard stories. I was asking, the guides about, what time people typically finish, and they were like, man, it's not unusual for it to be, midnight, 1 a.m. or after.
Yeah, they said we were like the fastest group collective group that they've ever taken through the canyon.
See, my knees, I'm surprised y'all were able to do it because I know you got bad knees, Brian, and I know Miss Joyce also had a couple surgeries. So, like,
downhill would have hurt you, but you'd have been fine once you got going back uphill.
My knees were actually pretty good, all things considered. That's when we got separated. If you remember, Tony had a tough time going down, and so did I to some degree, right? Not as bad as Tony, but
we got to the first rest stop and everybody's knees were buckled
Fire.
up. Yeah. And so we waited a little bit longer than the first group because it took us a little longer to get down there.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, that sounds like a crazy week. And both of y'all had a crazy experience, so I gotta give credit where it's due. You two finished a very, very hard thing. Me, I was dealing with my own challenges back here in Pittsburgh. Not even in Pittsburgh, in West Virginia, more so than anything. So we'll get into that another day. I'm not gonna really kill myself there.
Hold on, what do you mean?
I just lost, I felt like I lost 3 times on this weekend. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I didn't just lose once. Lost on Friday, lost on Saturday, twice. Almost lost on Sunday.
Twice.
Should I tell the story?
Hell yeah, you got to tell the story now, man.
All right, so the day started off great. Let me just start on Friday. Friday, we go into the game. I'm coaching Mount Lebo. I'm like, we're going into this thinking we're going to win. We get destroyed 49-0. So that's the start of my week, and I'm like, you know what? We still got a game tomorrow, right? Hope for the best. I'm coaching a JV. Let's make it work. Get to the JV game. I'm dicing these dudes up, throwing it left and right. I'm feeling myself. Then we got kids who just would not execute, just didn't know what they were doing. Is it their fault the whole way? No, I got to be better some way and somehow as a coach, right? Lose there, right?
Yeah.
Then I go to West Virginia thinking like, okay, here's a W somewhere. Like, I know at least the W's coming here. Let's start before we even get to the WVU game. So my friends are like, we're going up here and we're tailgating. Mind you, I've only ever played in the games. I've never been to a tailgate. Like, I've never actually had the opportunity to be at a tailgate. So I really don't know what the hell happens at a tailgate. I'm just there to be there. You know what I'm saying?
You learn quick.
Quick.
Bro.
So as soon as I damn near enter the Sandman almost, you know what I'm saying? Because I call it the Sandman because after that, everything was just downhill. It just felt like everything was just not working, right? Take 5 drinks, you know what I mean? Off rip, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. This should be fine. Then we get to the tailgate. And I didn't realize on how crazy the West Virginia Pitt game really is, but the tailgate is so big that to even get to where I'm trying to go, I'm pushing people. People are pushing me. I got Pitt stuff on. Somebody pushed me. It was like, eat shit, Pitt. Now I'm ready to fight, but I can't fight because once I fight, everybody's going to know exactly who's fighting at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Another person pushes me. Then a girl comes up to me in my face, eat shit, Pitt, and does this.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, okay. See, they must not know I'm crazy as hell. Like, and it just keeps happening. So then things are moving forward. We get to having a good time. We finally get to our destination. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my night regardless of all this extra stuff I just went through. I'm fine. We're just going to enjoy the night. Swing calls me. He's like, bro, where you at? I'm trying to call him. Can't really get a hold of him. There's no service down there. So I finally get to my area, and I have really crazy friends. Like I'm crazy, but my friends are actually like psychotic. Like I'm not playing when I say that. Like that, they're a little bit crazy. So They don't stop drinking. Me, I know my limit. I was like, Tre, we're getting to that point. You know it's a little hot out here.
Yeah.
You're in pit gear. You got to stay on 10 toes just in case somebody tries to fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful with yourself. So then they think it's a great idea, the greatest of great ideas. They're like, you know what? We're going to do Oklahoma's.
Bro.
Now, mind you, we're in the middle of a parking lot.
What are we doing?
So what are we doing, right? So as I'm walking over here, I'm like, why are these 2 men just laying on the ground?
These are dudes that you like.
These are the people I came with.
Like, how do you know them?
So I grew up with these kids.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Dude, we all have friends that we grew up with that do Oklahomas.
And then I'm talking about, when I say do Oklahomas, I'm
Not
talking
like
about
this.
like it's getting real deal Holyfield. Like real deal Holyfield. Like people are getting serious. We got people coming from left and right. I'm like, what is going on? Like Oklahoma's is dangerous just with pads on.
Right.
We're on concrete, asphalt, doing Oklahoma's, and that's not even the kicker. That's not even the kicker. Here's the kicker. So you would think there'd be a football involved. It's a tailgate. There should be a football somewhere. These dickheads grab a tequila bottle and use that as a football. And that right there is when I realized,
Bro.
I'm in the wrong situation. This is not good. And
Nah,
this is
dude.
what's messed up. They get through like 5-6 reps with no issue. So I'm like,
It worked.
we're good. Like, we're good to go.
What did the loser do? Have to take a shot of the tequila?
No. But let me show you.
You'll see who lost.
So I'm not gonna say any names, but I'm gonna show you a picture of what this guy's arm looks like.
No, you can't, because if it's gruesome, we'll get.
But you haven't seen the picture. I don't care if they seen the picture. I can get asked about the picture later, and you can ask me in private to show you the picture. But I'm gonna show you the picture because I want to see your initial reaction.
I saw the picture, bro. It's nasty.
I don't want to see this.
Fully looked at the picture yet. I saw a glimpse of the picture. I turned away.
You ready?
I guess.
Now, mind you, they tackle my mans, and I hear the bottle break. Psh. I'm like, oh no. Immediately, I'm sober now. Like, everything that I was feeling, gone. Doesn't even exist no more. I'm sober, completely sober. I hear the bottle break. Everybody's still laughing.
That's so gross.
Like, shit is sweet. I know automatically in my head, oh, this ain't right. Something's wrong. Because when he broke the bottle, you heard it crunch, and then he tried to get up, and then it crunched again. I'm like,
my God, dude.
I'm like, oh yeah.
I'd rather hike the Grand Canyon again.
So,
Not to mention, if I believe I saw the picture correctly, it's like a Patron bottle, right?
yes,
It's like a
Yes.
some thick.
thick,
It's a thick,
Thick.
glass.
thick.
Right?
It dropped by itself already, didn't break until this specific thing had happened. So as he's getting up, everybody's still laughing like stuff is cool. I'm handing people my drink so I can rush him to the ambulance because nobody's seen what I seen. I'm right there. I see it already. When he gets up, they're like, oh yeah, laughing, ha ha ha. Then everybody goes, oh shit.
Oh, dude.
Bro, so I'm like automatically, I take my little vest off, my jean jacket, I was feeling myself, I was looking good. He just destroyed everything. So like now, jean jacket ruined. If I show you this jean jacket, you're gonna be like, cuz, like, and you still wore that after that?
You did?
I wore it. Wore it into the stadium.
Dude.
That's how I was coming.
Dude, I bet you people stopped messing with you. After
Bro, didn't want to mess with me. So I was like, it was a tactic. I knew it was a tactic. So hear me out.
It's
Hear
like
me out.
on like Walking Dead when they like smear the blood all over them so the zombies
So
don't
now
attack.
I let the West Virginia fans know. No, I mean business. You know what I'm saying? I mean business. I'm crazy as shit. Back up. You know what I mean?
This guy.
So then we get to the ambulance, right? And the cops are there and they're just looking at me. And they're like, what happened? So you know me. I make up some lie to protect my friend. You know what I mean? He's just a little tipsy. Bottle fell over. And he just happened just to fall over at the same time, landed on the piece of glass. It was just bad timing. Knowing damn well he was being stupid as shit and end up really hurting himself. Now we're here by the ambulance. They got a tourniquet on him because he's losing so much blood. It was so bad at one point.
I mean, he could have died.
No, but I want you to understand how messed up I was because when it happened, I almost threw up in my mouth.
Oh.
And let me tell you why I almost threw up. Because when I got, they went to go cover his arm. And when they went to cover his arm, as we're running over to the ambulance, a piece of blood just squirted out and landed on my lip. And I was like,
Bro.
oh my God. Oh my God.
I'm
Like,
not going to the game after that.
I was so mad. But
I'm
here's the
going
thing, though.
home.
This is what made me so mad because when I felt it hit my lip, I almost like used my tongue to like, because I'm not thinking about it. And I was like, And he just looked at me and just started smiling. I'm like, you think this is funny, huh? So then we get to the ambulance. They put the tourniquet on him, and they're trying to get him to go in the ambulance. Now, if you know, going into the ambulance, especially because the hospital is probably 100 feet from us, behind us, we could walk in there. They're like, get in the ambulance. We'll take you over there. I'm not paying $2,000 just to jump in this ambulance to go 2 minutes down the road. This motherfucker walked over here. He's going to walk his ass to this hospital. That's how I'm seeing it. So they bring over.
Made him walk.
I would have. They didn't. They came over with a golf cart and was like, we're going to take him.
Okay.
So my boy goes in with him.
Keith, dude, getting carted out of the tailgate is something
Now, mind
crazy.
you,
Legendary.
during this whole time, right? During this whole time, I got Swing calling me. So I see Swing calling me, but there's nothing I could do to help Swing right now because me and Swing are supposed to go into this game
You
together.
did Swing a favor by not answering the
You
phone.
know what I'm saying? So Swing, he calls me and I finally answer. He's like, where you at, bro? I'm like, I'm by the ambulance right now. I'll call you back. And it just cuts out. So I know Swing he's stressing. He's stressing. He don't even know what's going on.
What's going through your mind?
I'm literally just trying to go in the game, and this dude says, I'm dealing with an ambulance, and the call just fails.
Bro.
I was like,
So at this point,
is
right?
Tre gonna die
Yeah.
today? I'm more concerned about Vinnie when I woke up this morning, and now Tre's the one dealing with an ambulance.
We're both going through the valley, buddy.
It's an interesting fact. Like, we made it through 25.5 miles
And I made it through
of
25.
absolute hell with less issues than you.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
Just going to a football game.
See, because you dealt with 25 miles. I dealt with 25,000 people who were just disrespectful. And listen, I'm talking about there was chew everywhere. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, what happened?
I did get him seats in a pit section. It was just, it was bad.
So then it's bad, bro, because I'm in the pit section and there's we're like in the pit section, but they did us shady on purpose because the pit section is right next to the student section. Like right next to the student section.
You're just getting
So
roasted.
we got a guy up front who's saying F you pit. Then I got a guy to my left who's never played football a day in his life talking crazy about football. He's throwing it into triple coverage. So I look at Swing and Swing's looking at me. I'm like, I gotta say something. Because we're losing, and this is a pit guy talking shit. So now I'm mad because you floating for the same team, but you over there talking crazy. So I look at Swing, and Swing just starts smiling. I'm like, so where'd you play at, buddy?
Oh, man.
I'm like, I said, where'd you play at? I said, what school you go to? I said, where'd you coach at?
Yeah.
I said, are you sure you know what he's supposed to be doing? Because it sounds like you didn't play anywhere. So he sits his butt back down, and everybody's around me. He's like, good job, good job, good job.
Dude, we need a Tre Tipton in every section of
Yeah.
every
Bro, so-
college and professional sports
Yeah.
game.
So-
Last night, dude,
Oh,
at the
dude,
Steeler
there's-
game, it was the
So, bro,
worst.
so
I can only
listen,
imagine,
I sit his butt down, right? But then Pitt starts doing ass shit. So, like, I really look stupid in the end of it because, like, it's literally inside run period. Like, I'm talking about there's no passing. Nobody throws the ball. And if they do throw the ball, it's an interception on both sides. On both sides. I'm talking about West Virginia and Pitt both look like shit. So I'm like, I'm trying to hype the team up. I'm talking like, yeah, we're doing good. We're going to be fine. Third quarter comes, bro. They score again. I'm like, bro, I got blood on my jacket. My boy's in a hospital. We're losing to fucking West Virginia. Of all
Vinny's
teams,
probably
we're
dead in
losing.
a
So just to
canyon.
clarify, though, our boy Rodney Gallagher and his West Virginia Mountaineers,
They won.
they won.
They won. They might
Yeah.
not win another game the rest of the season, but they won. And it's going to be, you know what I'm
Might be
saying?
a long year for
then-
college football in this area.
I can't even lie, bro. It looked like the battle of the toilet bowl at that point, bro. I was so mad. I was
Backyard bowl.
bro. I was so mad.
Yeah.
It was the backyard outhouse. That's what it was, bro.
Yeah.
It was. I was
Outback.
so mad, bro. I was so mad, and then here was made me even more mad, bro. So I parked at the Kroger, which is like a good distance from the stadium,
I don't want to hear about it.
and I'm sitting here thinking, but this is what powered me through.
I don't want to hear about
This is
that.
what powered me through. This is what powered me through. I said, I'm having a bad night. This ain't working. I got to walk this distance. But I said, you know what? I looked at the time. I said, Vinny's still walking through the Grand Canyon about right now. I'm good. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
baby.
we parked 25.5 miles, 6,000 feet down and 4,500 feet up and 122 degrees away from our car.
See? And that's why I was like, I looked at the perspective of life and said, you know what? Things could be worse, Tre. Keep pushing. But
Yeah.
then things got worse.
While I was down there, I was thinking, oh, I could be at a WVU tailgate right now. So
And here's
that's
the
what
thing.
got me through.
But here's the thing, though, Vinny. As I get to my car at the Kroger, my boys call me back. My boy gets out of the hospital again. So I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. Wait, he got out the same night? He gets out the same night, bro. And then has to go back.
What?
Let me tell you. Gets out the same night. And this motherfucker, no crap, like no bull. Gets out. He said, meet me at the club. And I'm just sitting here thinking in my head.
Bro,
I
you
said,
lost so much blood today.
I'm like, bro, how are you gonna survive this? Lo and behold, he did it. He ended up drunk outside the bar, like laying on the ground, half dead. Like I'm not, like half dead. Then calls me today, and that's the call you see today is the last call I've had from him since that moment. So,
Dude.
as we talk, right, as we go forward, man, I'm sitting here thinking about it all coming together. I'm also in these West Virginia bars wearing pit gear. So every 5 minutes, Sweet Caroline comes on, and everybody's screaming, eat shit, pit. And I'm just sitting on the bar stool like this.
Just defeated.
And they're screaming in my
So
ear.
what do you think you learned? What do you think the biggest lesson you learned this week?
First of all, I'm never drinking again. That just that solidified it for me. Second thing
Like
is,
for real?
yeah. Second thing is, I realize if I'm going to football games at this point,
I don't know if I believe that.
yeah, I don't believe it either. But at this point, if I'm going to football games, tailgating's just not for me.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. I mean, I realize it's a cool thing. People love to do it. It's a great family time. It's just not for Tre Tipton. You know? So that's another thing I learned. Also, I learned don't park. Come early so you can park closer.
What's like an overarching lesson that
Overarching?
you learned about yourself? Anything?
I know how to fight.
You knew that, dude.
I learned that shit again. I know how to fight because I could have had a bad day. I could have let my whole day be terrible. But by the time I got home and done, mind you, I drove home at probably 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'm tired at this point, ready to go to sleep at the wheel. And at this point, I realized, I said, Tre, you ended the day back home. And that was the positive.
I think I could take you in Oklahoma's.
I would take you up on that. But
Set it up in the parking lot.
I think I could.
I'd take you up on that. But I'll tell you this right now. Once you do this, there's no going back.
Bro, I have so much more center of gravity to the ground than you.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
And now his legs are like 10 times stronger.
No, they're not. They're 10 times weaker because this man's quads are still on fire. So you know what I'm doing? I'm hitting him dead in his legs. And then after that, I'm taking you to the 6th floor and dropping you off. But we can find out.
All right.
We can find out.
We should get full gear one day and just like.
You know what we should do? We should take up from the boys who are doing Oklahoma's. We should carry a football one day and walk downtown.
Just have random people.
And just have random people go at it.
Dude,
think
Point
you'll get-
State Park, Oklahoma's.
We should go do that. Today is
With
Tuesday.
like, dude, if we took like $1,000 down there, and we're like, all right, Oklahoma tournament, line it up.
Hey,
just
bro.
like-
They would go crazy about it. I'm doing it. I don't know about you. That's going to be content on Tre's channel, if anything. If it ain't going to be on Athletic Aesthetic or the Brian Hess Show, it's going to be on Tre's Instagram page.
Okay, sounds good. What's the call to action? How do you sign up?
Honestly, we'll set up a day. We'll say that we're going to be down there. I'll save up some money, probably $1,000 of my own money. You know what I mean? Could use it for rent. Or I could ask our sugar daddy, as you were saying before,
Yeah,
for the $1,000.
I called you Daddy B earlier.
Definitely called you Daddy B on the podcast in front of whoever watches this show.
Something wrong with you.
I mean, I didn't buy anything in here.
I mean, you got a point there. You know what I
He
mean?
didn't buy anything in the Grand Canyon either.
Hey,
Vinny qualifies. I got a few friends like that. I say they got deep pockets and short arms.
his short arms, bro.
Short
They
pockets
just
and
can't
short
reach the cash, you know?
That's the messed up part. He got short pockets and short arms.
It's not a good combo.
I learned one thing more so than anything. I feel like we've both learned that overcoming adversity, whether it's funny, serious, or to any scale, man, it takes a lot of work mentally, physically, and emotionally to keep it together. And I feel like you did that on your end, and I did that on my end after taking 5 losses in a matter of 1 weekend.
Yeah.
I watched Tre fight demons in that section.
Oh,
He started real loud and then he got real quiet. And I
Real
was like,
quiet,
oh, he's
bro.
never just had to be a fan.
Yeah.
because being a fan sucks. Like, I'm not even going to lie. Like, I'm being so serious. Like,
for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that I learned about myself. I'm not a fan. Like, I am not a fan.
It's like watching your crush get married.
Yes. That's
know what
exactly
I mean?
it. I'm not a good
It's
fan.
like-
I'm a terrible fan. Like, when I say I'm a terrible
I'm
fan,
not saying I know, like, it's got to feel like that where it's like
it's exactly that.
you can't do anything. The thing you want to be a part of is right in front of you.
And you can't do shit.
And it's just like,
And then here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. I know football. Like, I love football. I know football. But now I'm sitting around fans who've never played the sport a day in their life.
Right.
One. That right there,
yeah.
I'm 2 seconds the whole time from slapping the first person who stands up. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and as soon as I seen dude stand up and he wouldn't stop talking, I could feel it in me. I'm like, here's my moment to get my lick back. Like, here's my moment.
Don't go out like that, dude.
And I was sitting there
You'll
telling
end up on Barstool just like everybody else who gets in a fight at the game.
But see, then I did this right here. I said, you know what, Tre? Calm down, do this the right way. And I did it the right way. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Adversity, I feel like I beat adversity this week, but I realized more than anything, to answer your question that you asked me from earlier, my number one thing I learned, I'm not a fan. I'm just not a good fan. Like, I'm a terrible,
Not a fan.
yeah, I'm just not a good fan.
Not a fan.
Like, I have to either A, be on the sideline or on the field or not go. They're like, there's no in between. I got either that
Yeah.
or stay home. And I've come to a conclusion that I've been to enough games that if I'm not on the sideline, I probably don't want to go. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, because at this point, bro, fans are just. I'm not gonna lie. I can't stand fans. Like, personally, like fans, they sit there, they're cussing and screaming, and if you got kids and you bring your kids to the game, you can't even enjoy the game because
Yeah.
somebody's cussing out
Well,
loud
maybe we could,
in front of your
maybe
child.
we could just, I know we're rambling here and going on, but this is a good point. Maybe we could talk about it because it was in the news a lot last week. But with the whole Phil Jerkovich thing, right? Did you hear what he said about the fans?
The fans booing him.
Yeah, and he was like, if you're a grown ass man in the stands, like, and he got more backlash from saying that than he did for his play not being up to par. So how do you feel about that? Is he accurate?
He's 100% accurate.
Should he have said it?
He said what every athlete who's on the field is thinking.
Exactly.
If you're a grown ass man and you're out there screaming at 9 times out of 10, an 18-year-old kid that he sucks, he should die, or one of those crazy things that you say, and then you've never played football past Pop Warner.
Yeah,
With all due respect, sit your ass down.
for real, dude. And I
Somebody from Pitt got hurt, and they thought it was Phil,
And they cheered.
The whole
No.
section.
They
stood up
cheered.
behind us.
All right,
they
so
were like,
Phil got hurt and
waiting
they
for it.
cheered.
All right, so I'm gonna say this at the risk of, possibly, I don't want to say ruining a good relationship with another business and entity that I have done work for, but I was basically commissioned to do some cleats for Phil I'm not gonna mention who the company was, but in a collaboration with them, and after his comments and after his play and everything, they basically were like, hey, we're not doing the cleats for him anymore. So, just give them back to him, whatever. And I'm at a point where I'm just like, I don't know if that sits right with me because that's not how you treat people, for one.
Fair
And-
weather.
Huh?
Fair weather.
Exactly. So
They
I'm
don't-
going
they
to
only, they only want to be on the train when the train's headed in the right
When it's
direction.
going
100%.
in the right direction.
So I'm going to still do the cleats for him, and I'm going to freak these things for him. And I'm Team Phil. We got your back, buddy.
Yes,
I
we
know
do.
the time ain't going great for you right now, and I'm sure all the media outlets in the entire city right now are just, you're blocking them out, which you should, and they're all talking trash because it gets clicks. But we're going to
You
stand
ain't
with
got to block this one.
Hey, listen, I'm standing
we
behind.
stand by our athlete friends.
I'm standing behind Phil. I'm standing behind any person that plays on that team. Just him saying, do what you got to do to get back right. At the end of the day, we've taken losses that, again, we never should have lost, but we've also won championships when we've taken losses that we never should have lost. So at the end of the day, do the best you can to move forward.
About how
But
you respond, dude.
it's all about how you respond, but that goes back to the point that Brian and I had about talking about one-team athletes. There's these organizations out here using NIL deals to pimp out these kids. And when these kids don't do what they think that they're going to do, they take away from these kids. So now, right, you do exactly on what the world is expecting you to do with the NIL deal. You're pimping out these kids. You're not actually doing what's right by the kid. So now that I know that, and I know the organization that was supposed to do this for Phil, that lets me know what type of community, what type of organization you are. So therefore, I personally don't want to work with you either. Because in being an athlete, right, we all go ups and downs. Nobody knows right now what Phil's personally going through mentally. Because
100%.
Phil, although 2020, Phil Jerkovich killed the Pitt Panthers and was doing the right things. So therefore, from my personal point of view, this is the reason why I say I'm not a good fan. I'm a terrible fan, is because now I know that Phil is either A, going through something, has something that he really has to think about, and or is just having a tough year, especially after you had 6 injuries. You know what I'm saying? So, Phil, we're rooting for you. We're rooting for every single Pitt Panther. Whoever steps in and whoever plays whatever role it may be, we're rooting for you. Because you know why? Because it's about the athlete. It's about the athlete.
Yep.
It's about the athlete. So we're rooting for you. We're rooting for every athlete that goes on that field. And if you're a Fairweather fan, don't come up to me and talk to me because I'm not going to talk to you. And if I catch you being a Fairweather fan, you probably won't get a good response out of me.
Straight like that. This has been an Athletic Aesthetic, episode 31.
Bye. See ya. Yeah.